Hey, welcome back to Grit Gym. It is Friday, May 25th, 2018, and today we're talking about, I pulled this out. I didn't know what we were going to talk about today. I didn't have it planned out. This whole week has kind of been this kind of crazy week. A lot of stuff's going on. But I pulled this shirt out and I was like, I haven't worn this shirt in a while, and actually I really just like the way that it feels. It's super soft and everything. It's kind of one of those hug me shirts, you know, like you wear it and it just feels like it's hugging you the entire time because it's such a comfortable shirt to wear. But what this says, it says Plato o plomo, and what Plato o plomo is it means silver or lead. And the story behind this is, and I don't know how accurate this is or how inaccurate this is, but it's a dramatized way to make yourself. The way that I use it anyway is dramatizing the situation that I'm in to make myself realize how much time I do not have. So when we're going through this Plato o plomo is silver or lead, and apparently in maybe in our country and in other countries, but in Spanish-speaking countries, the story is that anybody who wanted to get something done in politics, they would go, let's say there's a bunch of mobsters. A bunch of mobsters want to get something done in politics, want to get a rule passed, whatever it is. They show up to the politician who would have the most pull and to their house in the middle of the night and with a bag of silver and a gun, meaning lead. And they ask them, Plato or plomo. So either it's a do or die scenario. You're either going to do this thing, you're going to get it done, or you're going to die because we're going to kill you. And it's a dramatized scenario, and I don't have a lot of time today because I got a lot of stuff going on, so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show, but it's a dramatized scenario to make yourself get shit done. When you have that do or die moment, which is something Rachel and I have been talking about a lot lately, because I have a lot of these where I'm just like, oh my God, how are we going to get this shit done? Like I'm in over my head, I don't know what to do, and I just have to keep pressing and keep pressing and keep pressing and keep pressing. And the thing is, how do you make yourself do that over and over? How do you force yourself under that amount of pressure? A lot of people are trying to run away from pressure when really, if you want to get a lot done in your life and you want to have this incredible experience that you want here, then you need to try to be imploring as much pressure upon yourself as you possibly can to get things done. Don't tell me that you wouldn't do better off if somebody was standing over you every second of the day being like, come on, let's go, come on, let's go. You would. You get more shit done. And the thing is, do you have time? Rachel and I were sitting down this morning. We were talking about how we're gonna like adding up, and I was like, she was getting scared that she didn't know what she was gonna do with her time in the next few weeks. And I was like, well, let's label this out. And this is an exercise I do every now and then as I go through. I go Monday, and I just list off the top Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I write out the whole thing and what my day looks like, what are my obligations to go to that week, and on a weekly basis. And then I write in the times and where I am available, where I could get something done, or where I could leverage to get something more done, and I add those up. Okay, and then I'll take that time 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, and then I figured out. So for like what we figured out is that if she had 8 hours a day for every day of the week that she could put towards this one thing that she wants to do, over the course of 8 weeks, that's 404. And we figured out, I was like, what we do, I asked myself in this situation, I asked her, how much could you get done in an 8-hour period of time? She's like, well, I could get quite a bit done in an 8-hour period of time. All right. Okay, so if we looked at that and we did that over the course of 8 weeks, that's 448 hours. How much could you get done with 448 hours if you looked at them as if a do or die moment was happening every 8 hours? And you smash that down into 15-minute increments. Now you're talking, oh my God, do or die, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done. And it's really hard to push yourself into this, but we're all in a finite period of life. Depending on how you look at life, whether it's like you're an immortal being that's going to last forever and ever and ever, which, on some level, totally get along with that. It's you want to have that theological discussion. I'm totally up for it because I find that stuff fascinating when the levels that you can take your mind. Usually, when I get into those conversations, people ask me how many drugs I've done, and I really haven't done any drugs to speak of. So, or like psychedelics or anything like that is what they think I've done, and I haven't. But is that Jake Myers that I see on here? I haven't seen you in a long time, man. How's it going? But thanks for being here. So Plato o plomo is a do or die moment. It means silver or lead. What are you going to do? And the thing is, we have every moment of our life. If you think about it, like every second you're going to make a decision. Every moment you're going to make a new decision over and over and over and over again. So it's one moment is dying and another moment is a new moment. One moment died, you're in a new moment. Another moment died, you're in a new moment. So you're constantly in these do or die scenarios. And this sounds a little bit dramatic, but why, like the question is, like, why wouldn't we make it a little bit dramatic? Because do you have time? Like from my standpoint, I don't think you have time. You will think that you have time, unless you push yourself forward to get everything that you do, unless you put as much pressure on yourself as you possibly can, you're not gonna, you won't live up to what you wanted to live up to. Think 10 years ago. 10 years ago, could you have gotten more done with what you had back then? You probably underestimated yourself. Well, the reality is that you're probably still doing that right now. Maybe not the reality, but you probably are still doing that right now, because 10 years goes by like that. Like if someone talks about 2008, I was listening to this guy give a presentation the other day, and he's like, this is back in 2008, as if that was a long time ago. And I was like, dude, that feels like yesterday. It feels like yesterday to be 2008. It is going to go by in the blink of an eye. It is not silly to make this thing a dramatic deal. Plato or plomo means, do you live the life that you want to have, or do you live the life that you're just going to end up with? All right. And the thing is, if you were looking at it, like the last thing that I'm going to go into, then I'm going to hop off the show, but we're Friday, May 25th, 2018. And what we're going to do next, we're going to look at the equation, a physics equation of time. Okay, so if we're looking at speed, we know that to calculate speed, it's distance divided by time. The amount of distance you go and the amount of time that you have is the amount of speed that you went. All right, so now we can figure out distance. So distance is speed divided by time, because we just have to divide both times by, anyway. All right, so now we can figure out what is the equation for time. And if we can figure out the equation for time, then we become masters of the whole thing. So if you do time equals distance divided by speed. So if you can increase your distance that you go. I don't think really the speed, like the more I look at this, the more time that I mull over this equation, time equals distance. Really nice handwriting, right? But the more I look over this, the more I'm like, time equals distance divided by speed, and then I can be a master of time. And then the more that I can expand time out because I can go further. Well, speed is the lower number. So if speed is 1 and distance is 10, well then we have a shitload of time, right? But if distance is 10 and our speed is 10, well we're still at 1. The same unit of time. So really, if you're looking at this thing and you're really making it like you're really looking at it, I think that that doesn't look like a very good D, does it? That's supposed to be D for distance. I think that the distance, the more I look at this, the distance that you go supersedes the speed that you move with. I think that is something worth exploring. Is the distance you go is more important than the speed at which you take it. Okay, but it doesn't mean, I think there's two things here, like the speed that you're going while you're in movement, but this is one thing. But the speed to take the action, I think that's the big thing that you want. You want the speed to take the action and to be extreme. You want, like, okay, so I know I have to do X, so you go and you do that thing right away. You don't sit there and dredge on it. You don't sit there and be like, I just dread doing that thing. I don't want to do that thing. I don't want to do the dishes. I don't want to go to the workout. I don't want to make the investment. I don't want to, but the thing is, if you would have started doing that 20 years ago, you would have started doing it 10 years ago, yesterday, it would have been better off than doing it today, right? Well, it's going to be better off doing it today than it will be waiting 20 years to do that thing. So speed to taking the action, I think, is extremely important. But beyond that, I don't know if the speed at which you go while you're in motion is as important as the distance that you do go. And the distance that you do go could be how much you get done, how much you accomplish, how productive you are. I think that supersedes the speed, because if we can increase this, then we end up increasing time. We end up expanding time, and then we become masters of time. And if we can do that, maybe, just possibly, we get to the end of our life and we get to go, yeah, I'm proud of what I did. I'm glad I did that thing. Because that's what I want to end up with. In that last moment, I realize I'm a super curious person, more curious than most. I didn't know that for a long time. I just thought everybody was like this. But I hope in that last moment I have some big realization. And I'm like, no shit. And then I get to find out what everything else is about. But anyway, I'm going to shut the show down. That was harder to say than you would think. Shut the show down. Harder. Hello. harder to say than you would think. But I do think that to become a master of time is important. I don't know if I think the speed to push forward to the thing that you want to do is important, but I don't think it's as important as how far you actually go within that medium. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. This could be a Plato o plomo for you. Remember, you're one decision away from anything that you want in your life, but you have to make that decision it's like the date with destiny. You have this decision, or Mr. Destiny, I mean. You have this decision that'll take you this way, this decision that'll take you this way, and every one of them, you're one decision away. One decision away from every new thing that you would ever want in your life, and it's extremely powerful to think that way, and because then you realize that you are responsible for all of it. And no matter how bad things have gotten, you can always move to somewhere positive. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. We're going to cut this one short because I've just got a lot to do and finish up. But I really appreciate it when you guys come on the show. It's nice. But time equals distance divided by speed. Your distance is important. We'll be back on Monday. Please like, share, comment, and send this out to everybody that you know. And we'll see you soon. All right. Have a good Friday.